The deep space vessel U.S. Horizon drifted silently through the darkness. The ship's engines hummed quietly as it moved along the edge of explored space. Commander Jack Morrison stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the main screen. His weathered face showed both excitement and caution. "Sir, we're picking up an unknown signal," said Communications Officer Diane Porter. Her fingers moved quickly across her console. "It's unlike anything in our database." Jack nodded. "Keep monitoring. Let me know if anything changes." He had spent 20 years in space, but this was different. His gut told him something big was about to happen. 3 hours later, they saw it. A massive ship, at least 4 times the size of the Horizon, appeared on their sensors. Its hull gleamed with a strange purple-blue metal that seemed to shift colors as they watched. "All stations on alert," Jack ordered. "Not combat ready, but be prepared." "Dr. Bennett, what do you make of this?" Science Officer Olivia Bennett studied her readings. Her dark hair was pulled back tightly, and her eyes narrowed in concentration. "The ship appears to be made of materials we've never encountered. And there are life forms aboard, sir. Definitely not human." The bridge crew fell silent. Humanity had encountered alien life before, but never an advanced civilization with space travel capabilities. "Open a communication channel," Jack said. "Standard first contact protocols." For 2 tense days, the Horizon maintained position near the alien vessel. The creatures called themselves the Vraxians. Communication was difficult but possible through the ship's advanced translation software. The aliens seemed curious but cautious, much like the humans. On the 3rd day, the Vraxians invited a small delegation aboard their vessel. Jack selected himself, Olivia, and Security Chief Greg Daniels to make the journey. The inside of the Vraxian ship was vast, with ceilings that stretched up at least 30 feet. The aliens themselves were tall, slender beings with skin that matched their ship's strange color-shifting properties. They walked on 2 legs but had 4 arms, each ending in hands with 7 long fingers. "We welcome humans," said the lead Vraxian in a voice that sounded like stones being dragged across metal. "We study your kind long time." Jack maintained a diplomatic smile. "We are honored to meet your people. We hope this will be the beginning of a friendship between our species." The Vraxians led them through winding corridors, filled with technology beyond human understanding. Olivia discreetly scanned everything with her handheld device. "This is amazing," she whispered to Jack. "Their technology is centuries beyond ours." The tour ended in a large chamber filled with glowing containers. Inside each one floated what appeared to be different alien species preserved in some kind of liquid. "Our collection," the Vraxian leader explained. "We study all life." Greg's hand moved closer to his weapon. "They're collecting species, Commander," he muttered. "Like specimens." Before Jack could respond, a Vraxian scientist approached with scans directed at the humans. "You make good samples." "Samples?" Jack stepped back. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. We came here for peaceful contact, not to become part of a collection." The mood in the room changed instantly. The Vraxian skin darkened, and they began to make clicking sounds to each other. "Leave now," the lead Vraxian ordered. "Contact ends." As they hurried back toward their shuttle, Olivia noticed a smaller container set apart from the others. Inside was what appeared to be a juvenile alien, different from the Vraxians. It was in some kind of stasis. "Wait," she said, pausing. "This one's still alive." A sudden alarm blared throughout the ship. The Vraxians began rushing toward them, their movements now clearly aggressive. "Run," Jack shouted. In the chaos that followed, Olivia made a split-second decision. She grabbed the small container and tucked it under her arm. They barely made it back to their shuttle. As they docked with the Horizon, the Vraxian ship began powering up weapons. "Get us out of here," Jack ordered as he reached the bridge. "Maximum speed." The Horizon shot away just as energy beams sliced through the space they had occupied moments before. In the science lab, Olivia placed the container on an examination table. Inside, The small alien floated peacefully, unaware of the chaos it had just been through. "What did you do?" Jack asked when he saw what she had brought aboard. Olivia looked up at him. "I couldn't leave it. They were keeping it like a specimen, but it's alive. I had to save it." Neither of them realized they had just taken what the Vraxians considered most sacred, a royal offspring in stasis, and neither of them knew the fury that would soon follow. The U.S. Horizon raced through space toward Lunar Base Alpha. Everyone on board felt the tension. They had barely escaped the Vraxian ship and knew they might be followed. "How much longer until we reach the base?" Jack asked, pacing the bridge. 6 hours, sir," replied the navigator, Peter Hall. His hands were steady, but sweat beaded on his forehead. Jack nodded and headed to the science lab. There, he found Olivia bent over the strange container she had taken from the alien ship. "Any progress on what this thing is?" Jack asked. Olivia looked up. Dark circles had formed under her eyes from working without rest. "It's definitely alive. And based on its DNA structure, I believe it's a juvenile Vraxian. You brought a baby alien on board." Jack's voice rose slightly. "Not exactly a baby. More like a teenager in human terms," Olivia explained. "And it's in some kind of medical stasis. I think it might be sick." Back at Lunar Base Alpha, Dr. Samuel Wright waited for the Horizon to dock. As the leading xenobiologist in Earth's space program, he had been called in the moment the base received word about the alien specimen. When the ship arrived, Olivia rushed the container to the main lab where Sam was waiting. "This is remarkable," Sam said as he examined the young alien. "Its biological structure is incredibly complex. Look at these neural pathways." While they worked, Admiral Kate Miller received the first alarming reports. She called an emergency meeting in the command center. "Our deep space monitors have detected a massive fleet leaving Vraxian space," Kate announced to the room of officers. "They're moving faster than we thought possible for ships that size, and they're headed straight for us." "How many ships?" Jack asked. "Over 200, Kate replied grimly. "More than we've ever seen them deploy." Diplomatic Officer Alicia Rodriguez spoke up. "I've been trying to establish communication, but they're only sending one message on repeat." She pressed a button, and a harsh, mechanical voice filled the room. "Return what you have stolen or face extinction." Everyone looked at each other in confusion. "What did we steal?" Peter asked. "We were the ones who were attacked." In the lab, Sam made a startling discovery. "This stasis pod has royal markings," he told Olivia as he pointed to symbols on the container. "According to what we know about hierarchical species, this could indicate the juvenile is of high status." At that moment, the young Vraxian's eyes opened briefly inside the pod. It looked directly at Olivia, and she felt a strange sensation in her mind, like fingers gently touching her thoughts. "It's trying to communicate," she whispered. The base shook as alarms began to blare. The first Vraxian scout ships had arrived at the edge of the solar system. The humans had no idea that they had taken the sacred heir to the Vraxian Empire, and the biggest fleet in Vraxian history was coming to get it back. A massive Vraxian warship appeared at the edge of the solar system. It was 5 times larger than any other ship in their fleet. From this flagship, Vraxian General Skather watched the tiny blue planet called Earth. "They dare to take our sacred heir," Skather said to his officers. His 4 arms were crossed over his chest in anger. "Prepare the message to their leaders." On Earth, the United Defense Council gathered in their underground bunker. Admiral Kate Miller stood before them, her face grim. "The Vraxian fleet has stopped just past Mars. Their general is demanding to speak with us." The large screen on the wall flickered to life. General Skather's face appeared. His skin shifted colors from deep purple to angry red. "Humans," he began, his voice like thunder. "You have taken our sacred heir. Return the royal child, or we will destroy your world." After the transmission ended, panic filled the room. "What are they talking about?" asked one council member. Admiral Kate turned to Jack. "Commander, is this about the specimen Dr. Bennett brought back?" Before Jack could answer, the door opened. Olivia walked in, her face pale. For the past 12 hours, she had been experiencing strange dreams and thoughts that were not her own. "The alien in the pod is communicating with me," she said, "through some kind of telepathy. I can feel its thoughts." "What is it saying?" Jack asked. "It's scared. It's telling me about its people." Olivia closed her eyes. Vraxian royals are extremely rare. They're born only once every 1,000 years. They're considered sacred to their species. In another part of the base, Intelligence Officer Nathan Reeves made a disturbing discovery. He rushed to the council meeting. "I've been analyzing all our data on the Vraxians," Nathan said as he entered. 3 other species who supposedly harmed Vraxian royals in the past were completely wiped out. They destroyed entire planets. The room fell silent. Back in the lab, Dr. Sam Wright continued studying the young alien. He noticed something strange in its genetic structure. "This royal offspring is sick," he told his team. "There's a flaw in its DNA that's causing a systemic breakdown. That's why it was in stasis." Sam looked closer at the stasis pod controls. Based on these readings, they've had it in stasis for over 50 years. They couldn't cure it. At that moment, the young alien's eyes opened again. This time, it reached out more strongly to Olivia's mind. She gasped as images flooded her thoughts. "It's showing me its name," she whispered when Jack called to check on her. "And why it was hidden away. The Vraxians couldn't save it. And they were ashamed." Across the solar system, General Scyther prepared his ultimatum. The humans had 3 Earth days before the invasion would begin. What none of the Vraxians knew was that humans might be able to do what they could not: save their dying heir. General Scyther appeared as a giant hologram in the United Defense Council chamber. His 4 arms were spread wide in a threatening pose. "You have 3 of your Earth days," the general announced. "Return the sacred hair unharmed, or we will turn your planet to dust." The transmission ended, leaving the room in shocked silence. "You took their offspring. You've doomed us all," shouted Councilman Frank Lawson, pointing at Jack and Olivia. Admiral Kate stepped forward. "Panicking won't help us. We need solutions." Jack stood up. "I have a proposal. Instead of simply returning the hair, what if we cure it? The Vraxians couldn't heal their own royal child. If we can do what they couldn't, maybe they'll see us differently." Some council members nodded, but others looked doubtful. Meanwhile, Olivia spent more time with the young Vraxian. Through their mental connection, she learned that the humans could call it Leo, a name the alien chose after seeing images of Earth lions in Olivia's mind. The mane-like ridges around its head reminded her of a lion. "Leo is afraid," Olivia told Sam as they worked in the lab. "In Vraxian culture, royals must be perfect. Leo was hidden away in stasis because of the disease." Sam studied his medical screens. "The genetic problem is complex but not impossible. Human gene therapy has advanced significantly in the last decade. I think we can adapt it for Vraxian biology." "How long would it take?" Jack asked when he joined them. 2 days, maybe 3, Sam replied. "But we need more information about Vraxian biology." Olivia closed her eyes, connecting with Leo. "I can help with that. Leo is sharing everything it knows about Vraxian physiology with me." Across the solar system, the Vraxian fleet moved closer. More ships arrived each hour, bringing their total to nearly 500 vessels. Intelligence Officer Nathan gathered more information about Vraxian warfare tactics. They typically destroy all orbital defenses first, then target major cities, he reported. Based on their weapons, Earth wouldn't last a day. Admiral Kate organized Earth's defenses, knowing they were outmatched but determined to protect their planet. In the lab, Sam and his team worked around the clock. Olivia barely left Leo's side, continuing to learn from the alien while sharing information about humans in return. "Humans are strange," Leo communicated to Olivia. "You fight among yourselves. Yet you try to save me, an alien you've never met before. That's what humans do, Olivia replied in her thoughts. We try to help, even when it's difficult. On the evening of the second day, Sam burst into the command center with a smile on his tired face. We've done it, he announced. We've developed a treatment that should cure Leo's genetic condition. We're ready to test it. Now they faced a crucial decision. Try the treatment or return Leo untreated and hope the Vraxians would show mercy. The Defense Council voted to try the treatment. It was a risk, but returning Leo without trying to help seemed wrong to most of them. Sam and his medical team prepared the treatment in the lab. The clear liquid glowed slightly blue as Sam loaded it into an injector. This will rewrite the damaged sections of Leo's DNA, Sam explained to Jack and Olivia. If it works, the genetic disease should begin to reverse within hours. Olivia placed her hand on the stasis pod. Leo is scared but willing to try. The fear of returning home imperfect is worse than the fear of this treatment. They carefully opened the stasis pod. Leo's body was slender like adult Vraxians, but smaller with skin that shifted between soft blue and green colors. The mane-like ridges around its head trembled slightly. Sam injected the treatment directly into what served as Leo's circulatory system. Then they waited. While the treatment began its work, Jack put his second plan into action. I'm taking the small ship to meet General Scythere, he told Admiral Kate. I'll buy us more time. That's too dangerous, Kate argued. They might kill you on sight. Maybe, Jack admitted, but I have to try. We need just a few more hours. Jack took a small diplomatic vessel toward the Vraxian fleet. His heart pounded as the massive alien ships came into view. This is Commander Jack Morrison of Earth, he broadcast. I request to speak with General Scythere about the sacred hair. To his surprise, the Vraxians allowed him to dock with their flagship. Armed guards with 4 arms each escorted him to the command center. General Scythere towered over Jack. The general's skin pulsed with dark red colors that showed his anger. You have 1 day left, human, Scythere said. Where is our sacred hair? The hair is safe, Jack replied carefully. But there's something you should know. The hair was sick. That's why it was in stasis, wasn't it? Because your people couldn't cure the genetic disease. The general's skin flashed purple with surprise. How do you know this? Did you harm the sacred one to learn our secrets? No, Jack said quickly. The hair shared this information willingly, and our doctors believe they can cure the disease that your people couldn't. Impossible, Scythere hissed. Our medical science is far beyond yours. Then you have nothing to fear, Jack replied. Give us 12 more hours. If we fail, we'll return the hair exactly as we found it. If we succeed, both our peoples benefit. Back on Earth, Olivia watched as Leo's vital signs began to improve. The damaged cells were accepting the treatment. It's working, Sam whispered in awe. The genetic repair is happening faster than we expected. Leo's eyes opened fully for the first time. Through their mental link, Olivia felt something new from the young alien. 12 hours later, Jack returned to Earth with a Vraxian ship following close behind. General Scythere had agreed to see the hair himself, but he brought 20 armed guards with him. The lunar base was on high alert as the alien general's shuttle landed. Admiral Kate had positioned security teams throughout the base, but everyone knew they would be no match for the Vraxians if fighting broke out. This way, General, Jack said, leading Scythere toward the medical lab. The general had to duck to fit through the human doorways. His 4 arms remained tense, ready to fight. In the lab, Leo sat on an examination table. The young Vraxian was no longer in the stasis pod. Its skin glowed with healthy blue-green colors, and the mane around its head stood tall and proud. When Scythere entered, he froze in shock. The sacred hair is awake and moving. His voice was barely a whisper. Leo stood up and walked toward the general. Olivia stayed close beside the young alien. The treatment worked, Sam explained. The genetic disease is being repaired cell by cell. Leo will make a full recovery. Leo, Scathar asked in confusion. That's what the hair asked us to call it, Olivia explained. We've been communicating telepathically. The general's skin shifted through several colors rapidly. This is impossible. Our greatest medical minds tried for decades to find a cure. Leo reached out and touched one of Scathar's hands. The two Vraxians stood silent for a moment, clearly sharing thoughts. The general's expression changed from disbelief to wonder. You truly healed the sacred hair, but why? You could have simply returned the hair to us. Jack stepped forward. Because that's what humans do. We saw someone suffering, and we tried to help. We didn't take your hair to harm your people. It was a misunderstanding, and when we realized what had happened, we wanted to make it right. Scathar studied the humans carefully. Our records show that your species is violent and divided, yet you united to save one alien child who means nothing to you. Leo means something to us now, Olivia said. We formed a connection. Leo spoke aloud for the first time, its voice musical and light. The humans have shown me kindness when our own people hid me away. They fixed what our doctors said could not be fixed. They did not see my imperfection as shame. The general's guards lowered their weapons, sensing the change in their leader's mood. I must speak with the Vraxian High Council, Scathar announced. This changes many things. As the general prepared to return to his ship, Leo made a surprising announcement through its telepathic link with Olivia. Tell them I wish to stay a while longer to learn about humans, Leo communicated. There is much our people could learn from Earth. Olivia relayed the message, causing another wave of shock to pass through the general and his guards. The hair had been found, cured, and now wanted to build a bridge between their species. None of them could have imagined this outcome when the conflict began. 1 week later, Earth's skies were filled with Vraxian ships, but they were not there to attack. The ships hovered peacefully as representatives from both species met to sign the first human-Vraxian treaty. General Scathar stood beside Leo in the grand meeting hall. The young hare wore special clothes that humans had made, designed to be comfortable for Vraxian anatomy, but styled in Earth fashion. When I sent the message, you took their offspring. You've doomed us all. I truly believed it. Scathar admitted to the gathered leaders. In our history, anyone who harmed our royals faced total destruction. It was our way. The general's skin shifted to a calm blue color. Instead, you humans have changed our way forever. You showed us that compassion can be stronger than tradition. Admiral Kate and Commander Jack exchanged proud glances. Earth's defenses had stood down, and the feeling of relief was evident on everyone's faces. Leo stepped forward to address the crowd. I was hidden away because I was imperfect. My own people gave up on me, but humans saw beyond my illness to who I could become. Olivia stood nearby, still able to sense Leo's emotions through their fading telepathic link. She felt the young alien's happiness and hope. Today we create the human-Vraxian scientific exchange, Leo announced. Our people will share knowledge, beginning with the medical breakthrough that saved my life. Dr. Sam Wright would lead the human team, with Olivia serving as the main communicator due to her unique connection with Leo. As the treaty was signed, news traveled quickly throughout the galaxy. Other alien species who had feared the Vraxians for centuries watched in amazement as the fearsome warriors became peaceful allies with the young human civilization. The humans did what no other species has done. An alien leader commented from a distant world. They turned the Vraxians from enemies to friends without firing a single shot. Later that evening, Jack found Olivia looking out at the stars from the base's observation deck. Leo is returning home tomorrow, she said quietly, but it promised to visit often. Jack nodded. You know, when we first encountered their ship, I never imagined it would end like this. That's the thing about humans, Olivia replied with a smile. We're unpredictable. We took what seemed like a terrible mistake and turned it into something amazing. Far above Earth, in the Vraxian flagship, General Scathar looked down at the blue planet. For the first time in his long military career, he was glad a battle had been avoided. "We came to destroy them for taking our sacred hair," he said to his officers. "Instead, we found the one species in the galaxy with both the wisdom and courage to change our future." The general knew that this small young species called humans would become important allies in the vast, often dangerous universe. And it had all begun with a misunderstanding, and ended with a miracle of compassion and ingenuity that only humans could have achieved.